What's up, everyone? My name is Chelsea, and welcome to Handcuff Status Podcast. On today's episode, we will be discussing miscarriage of justice, what it means, and the various forms of injustice from our criminal system. We have an exclusive interview with Troy Phelps. He's currently incarcerated at Richwood Correctional Center, Louisiana. He's the author of Every King Needs a Queen, Love Yours. He will be sharing his experience with us, so let's get right into it. Hi, Troy. How are you?
How you doing today? How y'all doing?
I'm good. I see that you like to be called Japan. What would you rather we call you today, Troy or Japan?
It's up to you. Everybody calls me Japan because that's where I grew up at. So it's
Okay,
it's
so
a
would you
nickname
feel
they
more
gave me.
comfortable if I called you Japan?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
All right, cool. So, can you just give us a brief background about yourself?
I grew up a military brat. Both my parents in the Navy, so I grew up around the world traveling. Majority of the time in Japan. I'm born in Metairie. That's Louisiana. It's right by New Orleans. I got arrested on this charge right here currently 2017. Simple robbery, Louisiana. Now it's a aggravated charge, so it's flat time. But I've been incarcerated about 15 years. I go home in about 7 months, and it's been a process.
So are you bilingual? You said you grew up in Japan.
Yeah, I can speak Japanese just a little bit. Like, it's not too serious.
That
Yeah,
is
it's
so
not
cool.
too serious.
So, what led to your conviction for simple robbery?
I just did 8 flat years in DOC from the age of 21 to 29. I went home at the age of 29 and started a moving company, actually. Me and a close friend. How I am, like, I have to discern whether I'm put myself with good people or not. You feel what I'm saying? And by me just doing 8 flat years in prison, a lot of the dudes I know, are convicted felons, which is no problem. There was a situation where I should have been thinking, smarter than what I was. I wasn't putting my faith and good trust into people. And one night down here, we have like Mojo. I don't know if y'all know what that is.
No, what was the grade?
Mojo. It's K2. You feel what I'm saying? So down here, it's like synthetic marijuana. A guy who's working for me, a white dude, got big old high one day and flashed out. Like, I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but it happens a lot in the jail. There's probably a bunch of videos floating around. I got a bunch of videos too of guys smoking this and tripping out, like Smokey on Friday. He wound up going crazy, and the police wound up coming. He told the police he got robbed. So by me being with him, they charged me. He never said it was me. He never pointed me out. Never said it was me.
Right.
I spent 4 years. Yeah, I spent 4 years in jail. I spent 4 years fighting this charge with no victim. The guy, the kid that I used, he's at the time he was homeless. So he's a homeless heroin addict and crackhead. He told the police that he got robbed out of $400. And at the time, I owned my own company. And I also had a job. I was getting paid $20 an hour. And I did that 3 nights a week. So I was fairly busy when I went home. This is in the 6 months that I went home. But where I'm from in Louisiana, like, if you got a background, it don't matter. Like, it don't matter what your charge is, they're gonna come get you. My lawyers were saying the same thing. Like, yo, this is a heroin addict and a crackhead that says our client robbed him out of $400. And in the 4 years that I've been there, he never showed up to court. He was never present. He was on the run in 2 different parishes, Orleans and Jefferson Parish. And I mean, like, it was just a weird situation, bro. Like, it's hard to explain it, but I'm not the only person like this. Like, so a lot of the places in Louisiana, this is what they'll do. They'll arrest you on like 5 or 6 charges. Here it is. I was on a convicted felon with a firearm. They had me charged with a convicted felon with a firearm and no firearm present. No picture of a firearm. I never had a gun. They never had a physical gun. But that also was added on to my charges.
You were charged without the gun?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Jefferson Parish. So that makes your bond go higher, right? And don't forget, at the time, I'm on parole. So by me being on parole, what I can't do, I can't like bond out. The court system says this, okay, you can't bond out. We have you till 2020, which is when you get off parole. So we can just set you back as many times as we want to. And that's exactly what they do. They'll put 5 or 6 charges that they know won't stick. There's no way in the world I should be fighting a charge with no victim for 4 years.
Yeah, and the guy never came forward. You said that's crazy.
Yeah, I have all my paperwork too. Like, he's never came forward. People always ask, well, then why'd you cop out? And that's why the conviction rate is so high in Louisiana. It's because they'll put a bunch of charges on you, have you sit for 3 or 4 years, drop the charges all the way down to something smaller. And then in your mind, you're like, well, I already did 3 years, I already did 4 years. What's another 2 years? What's another 1 year?
Right.
And I'm seeing guys get life sentences. I'm seeing guys get 50 years. I'm seeing guys get get 20 years. I'm seeing guys get 80 years. So it plays a part on a lot of the mental heads of the young boys, or even the older cats that are in there. Something hit in my case that it never happened on planet Earth. COVID, 2020 COVID hit. I talked to my sister, and this is like January. This is like April of 2020. And when you're in prison or you're in jail, especially one like Jefferson Parish, you're watching the news, you're just seeing a bunch of people dying. And you, in your mind, you're thinking the world's going to come to an end and you're sitting in jail. Yeah, so the whole time when I was talking to my sister, she was letting me know, like, you're being stubborn. I know you want to fight this out. And I know you want to go to trial and win. But think about your grandparents. Think about all your family that's out here. Like, what if they're not alive tomorrow? And it sunk with me. 2021 came around, February. My victim's in jail in Orleans. So we went through the whole 2020. COVID's still going crazy. It's the beginning of 2021. We still don't know what's going on. But my victim's in jail. So the DA goes to video. He's in Orleans. They go to video chat with him. He got arrested. I have his police report too. He got arrested for stealing copper pipes out of a grocery store in New Orleans. He got caught with crack pipe, heroin needles. Remember I told you he's homeless. He's a homeless guy.
Right.
They arrested him. He's in Orleans. The DA goes to see him. Well, the DA asked him a bunch of questions. One of the questions the DA asked him was, were you intoxicated the night of the crime, the night of the incident? He told her, he said, I was on multiple drugs the night that this happened to me. I have this in black and white.
This is your crime that you're referring to.
Yeah, this is my victim. Yeah, this is the crime, my night that I was supposed to rob him. Right then and there, it was supposed to be, all right, look, we can't bring this to trial. But you gotta keep in mind, a lot of people don't understand this, the judicial system. In Louisiana, it was like you don't have to have a unanimous verdict. You don't have to have a unanimous verdict. Yeah, so you could go to trial and lose by a non-unanimous verdict. They just recently changed that. And every other state really has that. They have unanimous. It has to be, everybody has to say, look, he did it. Can never be a question of, wait, but what if he didn't do it? What if this happened? You have to prove without a reasonable doubt. So in Louisiana, we didn't have that. If I'd have been anybody else, I felt like it could have been like anybody, let's just say a doctor or a lawyer or somebody with money, or anybody. The DA would have never accepted the charges. A homeless guy who's a heroin addict and a crackhead and has now told me that he was on multiple drugs the night that this happened. I can't sign a legal document under the influence, right? I'm not allowed to, right? So how can somebody give you an honest statement of events that happened if they just told you they were on multiple drugs the night that this happened?
When you say you could have been anybody, do you think, when you say anybody, do you mean color-wise or like based off like profession?
Oh man, it's Louisiana. So Louisiana, it's always going to be the color first. I hate to say it because I didn't grow up like that, but it's crazy because I remember as coming out here, I remember moving out here. When I was 18, I had a Mercedes. And the first week I owned a Mercedes, I got pulled over a bunch of times. And one of the times I got pulled over in Kenner, and a detective pulled me to the side and said, man, you know why he pulled you over? I'm like, man, nah, I really don't know why. He said, man, because you're a young black guy in this expensive car. I feel like it's sad to say, but man, I don't want to say every cop's racist. Like, I ain't one of them dudes. Like, I'm not one of the people who believe like every cop. Nah, man. Like, we need police in this world because they got a lot of sick, crazy stuff to be happening. So you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, but in Louisiana, there are some times where like your skin color plays a major part, and your money, your funds. The amount of money you have gets you in and out of situations in Louisiana. Everybody really knows that. The public defenders, fortunately for me, I have lawyers. But public defenders there's too many cases. Just imagine the amount of people that Louisiana locks up. So imagine the amount of people that are incarcerated, they have to go through court. And those parishes don't have the adequate amount of money to have the adequate amount of legal assistance for these guys. Like, I met so many guys that think the judge is against them. And I'm like, yo, bro, the judge is the referee. If it's a basketball game, the judge is the referee. It's you versus the DA. You know what I'm saying? It's your two teams. He's just the one that's calling the shots. Because in my situation, I wanted to do a judge trial. So everybody was like, yo, you crazy. In an armed robbery, you want to do a judge trial? I'm like, yeah, because the judge knows the law. Like, he's not going to go off my past history or what I look like or who I hang with. He wants the DA to prove to him that this is what happened. And he has to do it because he doesn't want me to do an appeal and then the higher courts find out that he messed something up. So I had to break that down to a lot of guys. And I mean, that's another problem in our community is I feel like we aren't taking the responsibility to pass the information on. I got with a group of guys and I asked them, I said, in order to change the system, we have to infiltrate the system. I say, how many times have you ever told your child that they could be a police officer or a judge or a congressman or something like that? And dudes always look at me like, man, yeah, you're right. I never tell them that. I'm like, but just imagine imagine if your kid became one of those things that comes from our community. Imagine if the police came from our community. Something like really came from our community. Imagine if the judges came from our community. Imagine if the people in Congress came from our community. They can understand, like, oh, I understand why this happened. I understand why this happened. It can be that, understanding. Understanding is the key to a lot. 15 years in prison taught me understanding is the key to a lot. Like, it's sad to say though, but race does play a part, especially out here. Because once I tell it to people, I'm like, yo, and that's not the kicker of the story. The kicker of the story is my lawyers are telling me that this is going to be a non-aggravated charge. My lawyers are telling me simple robbery is going to be non-aggravated. Little did they know the law had just changed recently. Louisiana, they changed laws. In the 17, they changed a couple laws. So it states that simple robbery can be aggravated or non-aggravated, but it must be stated or it has to be in writing. My lawyer said that this is going to be non-aggravated, and I was going to do 2 years, 5 months, and 15 days off of 7 years. So in Louisiana, non-aggravated offenses, you do 35% of your time. So if they give you 100 years and it's a non-aggravated charge, you only have to do 35% of that. So 7 years is 2 years, 5 months, and 15 days. I'd already been in there for almost 4 years, so I would be immediately released. So what I did was we went to court. Well, we went to video because it was still COVID, which was weird too. I don't know how many, now I guess the world's used to it, but at the time when this was going on, everything was new to us. Everything was weird. With that being said, I was like, all right, cool. The DA gets the conviction, my lawyers get the case closed, and I get to go home to my family. 20 days later, they shipped me to Tensas, which is it's in Waterproof, Louisiana. It's a satellite camp. A lot of people are always asking us, like in Louisiana, where we're located. We're located in satellite camps. These are places like Tallulah, Jonesboro, Tensas, those types of places, Richwood, Concordia. But so I got shipped to Tensas. The first person I called is my lawyer. I said, hey, I'm upstate. They're saying I got to do 7 years flat. And another thing to that is the judge said, okay, you're going to get 7 years, but you're only going to do 2 years, 5 months, 15 days, right? DOC, the Department of Corrections, overrided the judicial system, which is insane. In Louisiana, DOC, the Department of Corrections, has the power to flatten out your time. They have the power to give you more time. Wow. They have the power to say, okay, you did this 3 times. We're going to give you a life sentence. Even though the court says, yeah, he did it 3 times, but it's not this severe. He's good. Right. The judicial system. That's the people that are supposed to judge me. The scale. That's the people that are supposed to judge me. It's supposed to be a balance of power. But so DOC flattened me out. I called my lawyers. My lawyers sent me an email. I have those emails, actually. And I wanted to forward them to you. I posted them on my page. And so I write my lawyers and I say, hey, look, they said I have 7 years. My lawyers said they're going to talk to the clerk of court. They found out. The detective back and say, the clerk of court made a mistake. They said it was a glitch in the system and that I should be home within a week or 2 weeks. This was in April of 2021. It's now April of 2024. And I'm still in 2024. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and I did what I was supposed to do. So I talked to my lawyers, and nothing really ever happened with them. I wrote the Supreme Court. I filed appeals, and it's crazy because I don't really know how to do all of that by myself. And I lost my grandfather in 2022, which just made me be like, it's over with. Yeah, but there's a case that I read about where if a defendant accepts a plea deal on the idea or the precipice of what the lawyer said, and it wasn't to be true, then, we could overturn that and you go back to court. But it seemed like I never got that far with my lawyers, even though I could prove in emails that my lawyers were saying, oh, it was a computer glitch in the system. You feel what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like that should have made somebody raise their eyebrows and be like, hold up, let's look at this.
Right.
Nobody did. Yeah. Nobody did, and I felt like just another person in here. So, I mean, you can either do one or two things about it. You can cry about it, or you can just move on and make yourself better. That's where I try to lead the guys nowadays. I try to show them that because, man, in order to change this, everybody's always talking about crime and how much there's so much crime in the streets. They can't come up with answers because they don't come holler at us. Like, if there's a problem at the zoo, I'm going to go holler at a zookeeper. I'm not going to go to Walmart. So, I'm being honest. Like, why don't you ask a criminal? Like, okay, we have this crime. There's a bunch of crime going on in the inner city. We're going to talk to politicians and congressmen who have never, dealt with criminal activity. Let them say it, Why don't you just come ask some criminals? Like, what's the problem? Well, to me, what I came up with was it's a 4-part system. It's a 4-part problem. You have the relationship between the police and the community. A lot of people are scared of the police. I'm talking about kids. I mean, they see black people get beat up, robbed, and killed by police officers. That scares them because if you're a police officer, you're supposed to have higher standards. Period. I don't care about none of that. You're supposed to have higher standards. Just like if you are the mother of this kid or the father of this kid, you're supposed to do a little bit more and treat them a little bit better than an uncle or some random person. So in the community, you have to change the way that you're saw. You have to change the way the community looks at you as far as the policing. You have to show them that it's a, we're not here to hurt you guys. We're to protect you guys. That has to change. The second part of that is what happens after the policing, which is the judicial system. And that has to change. So when you get locked up in Louisiana, you're going to get an extremely high bond, right? You're going to go to a jail that is closed off from anything in the world. It's closed off. And the law library is going to be inadequate. Everything's going to be expensive. So one soup in society, a ramen soup is like 20 cents or 15 cents, 10 cents. In jail, it's $1.19. A thing of peanut butter is $6. So you got a guy who doesn't already have money. He might have committed a crime, right? A young dude committed a crime. He got arrested. Now he's in Jefferson Parish, or he's in any jail. And he doesn't even have money for lawyers. So he has a public defender, right? This is the judicial system we're talking about. That's messed up, needs to be fixed. So he has somebody who he knows is not going to fight for him. He knows what he did was wrong, but he also knows that the system that's policing him is wrong. He knows this. He can see it. So the store is expensive, so he can't really make store. He can't really can't eat right because they don't feed you anything. I guarantee you this. And then he's around a bunch of other guys that are having emotional problems. And I try to tell a lot of people that a lot of these dudes that come from the streets have PTSD. Like, just imagine being a kid and seeing somebody get killed, or seeing your mom get raped, and it was crazy because I grew up in Japan, so I wasn't really used to all of that, When I came to America on my own and I was in the streets, and I was seeing the mom who was on crack, she's got 3 kids, or the woman who's getting beat by an old man, or the guy who's working hard to do what he got to do and he gets robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like I see, and these kids see this and they grow up and now they're in jail and they have these memories. So you put all those personalities together in one room, there's going to be fights, there's going to be aggression, there's going to be anger. Nobody knows how to talk about their problems. So that's the judicial system part. It's not creating better people. That part right there, that part is unfair. Because you'll turn on the TV and you'll see, I just saw something in California. A girl stabbed her boyfriend up 118 times. She got probation. Yeah, the judge said because she was high on marijuana, she wasn't in the right state of mind. Oh, listen. In Louisiana, you can be high on PCP. If you rob somebody with a stick, you're getting 10 to 99 years.
Wow.
Aggravated. They don't, because it's not an excuse. So I'm not hating on her. Hey, yeah, I'm not hating on you. I don't wish jail upon you. So what I'm saying is, when you're a kid and you're watching the news and you see that she stabbed up somebody, where she's white, and then you robbed somebody with a stick. You just told her, hey, miss, I need your money. And she gave you the money, you told her have a good day, and you ran off. That's an armed robbery charge. It's 10 to 99. And now you got to do 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. You see what I'm saying? You see that it's unfair. And then that makes him okay. So the police department makes me hate you. And now the judicial system makes me hate you. So now he catches time, right? They send him upstate. Now, our correctional system is totally different. I wanted to show you guys some videos, but these videos is not for the weak at heart. Like, this is the real. Like, this is how jail really is in Louisiana. It's not nothing. All right, because it's nothing like nowhere else. Yeah. So you're lucky if you go to like Angola. Notice I said lucky if you go to Angola. Hunts, DCI, correctional center, facility. Yeah, if you go to a satellite camp, you're in trouble. Like if you go to like Jonesboro, Tallulah, it used to be Rayville, Richwood, Concordia, any one of those places. Those jails are owned by the parish. So Orleans Parish is New Orleans, right? And they have a jail. Their jail is supposed to just house people from their parish, right? But these other parishes are contracting out to the Department of Corrections because there's too many inmates. You have these private-owned facilities, right? And these places are hell. You get something there. So now that kid gets something there. He's 22, right? He gets something there. And automatically, some of these places, as soon as you get in, you got to have a fight. We're not talking about like the regular fight.
Right.
It might be world knives involved. Yeah, like, oh yeah, you might. And if you say you from Baton Rouge or something and you fall on the New Orleans dorm, it just so happened that they're beefing at the time.
Right.
As soon as you go in there, it's not going to be no talking to you. They're going to find out who you're from and then they're going to stab you up. And I know places, oh man, this is lit. This is how it is all the time. I promise you this is, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I'm telling you this, like, If you when you're in there, like, and this is what I'm trying to say. This is the third part about fixing crime. Imagine being 23, 22 years old. Imagine being any age and you're in a jail. You're locked in a box. It's 100-man dorm. Open your garage. Go in your garage. That's what it looks like. It's a big garage. It's 100 people in it. It's one TV, one microwave, four showers. Nothing else. Like 3 or 4 wall phones. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to do. It's not no classes. They're not giving you classes. There's not in a jail. Let's say judge 800 people. There's probably 20 taking GED. So imagine you take this 23-year-old, you put him in that mindset where he has to stab somebody up or fight for his store, for his food. If his mom's sending him something or if he has something, if he doesn't have anything, then what does he have to do? He's got to gamble or hopefully like not take somebody's stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So you got all of that going on. You set him there for 3, 4, 5 years and let him go back out to society. What did you really do? So that's the third part. They're not really like, I had to force myself to gain this knowledge. Everybody's not like me. I was blessed to have parents that had me visit different countries and places to learn different. A lot of these guys don't. They come from places that have poor education.
Like, based off of your upbringing, seeing as how you grew up like out of the country, how did that lead to you getting into the lifestyle that you like that led you to going into prison?
Like the streets. So I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like I got bullied a lot. Like
Okay.
fact. A lot of people don't know this. So growing up in Japan, I was different. I used to listen to rock music,
Mm-hmm.
System of a Down, Linkin Park, Green Day, stuff like that, Aerosmith. Um, and I used to skateboard. And this is what I used to do like my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade year. And I didn't really fit in. And I wasn't into fashion and clothes and stuff like that. I wasn't into like Jordans. I never had none of those growing up. One day, it was raining, and we had to go under like this shed, like this, walkway for school. I'm going to Zama American High School. I went to school with Wiz Khalifa, by the way. Cameron Thomas, he's an Army brat. We went. This is around the time.
Nice.
And I had on like a pair of like Birdman lugs, some cream colored Calcanaut shorts, and like a FUBU baseball jersey. And this is probably like 2000, 2001, so that's not even swag. And there was a kid named John Bender. He's always fresh. He's Filipino. And I went to school with a bunch of Asians. So he's Filipino. And like he joked on me so hard, everybody started laughing at me and I cried. And like, yeah, like I'm serious. And I cried because like I didn't see nothing wrong with who I was.
Right.
You know? Like I thought I was just pretty cool to myself. Like I'm a pretty cool person. And that changed me. So that like led me to want nicer things. And my parents didn't really have the money to be like that would have been selfish. Here it is, I wear a size 12 right now, so I have big feet. My parents can't afford to pay $200 for the shoe. Yeah, and I've never been the type of person to like lean on other people, so I just go get it on my own. And in Japan, stealing is not a part of their culture, so they leave a lot of stuff out, you know. And as kids, we just go take shoes or take clothes. And once I started to have the nice clothes and gear, people started treating me different. Sometimes I started to get like, so so that just built into like, we don't have guns in Japan. I never sold drugs. My whole high school, middle school, elementary school, I never did drugs. I never did alcohol, none of that stuff. I moved to America my senior year, and that was 2005. And like that's when like I was always going to jail in Japan though. Don't get it twisted. I was going to jail for like stealing stuff, fighting. I always used to fight, but like no crazy stuff. Yeah, I always used to fight because I got bullied a lot, so I used to always have to fight. And then like I didn't know how to control that. As I got older, I just used to talk with my hands. Even in prison, even in here, like I've got a stack of write-ups this big. I've calmed down the last. I've calmed down the last 2 years, but I'm the only person from Japan in this prison system, so I have to represent. You know what I'm saying? So, but like coming to America, it was just all open, and a lot of people in America is like, man, America sucks. America sucks. Well, I've been to a lot of countries, and everybody wants to really come to America. It's because like you can be where you want to be. I just chose to do the wrong thing. If I would have chose to do the right things, I've been gone 15 years, right? If I'd have worked at McDonald's for 15 years, me with the mindset I have, I'd own 20 McDonald's by now. It's just I chose to do the wrong thing, So when I came to America, it was just like the women, like the money, the attention,
Right.
And I do a lot of good with, like, and I'm not one of, everybody who really knows me knows one thing, like, if I have money, everybody has it, because I'm that type of dude. Like, we gon' we gonna try to spread the wealth. I was young. I was young, and I just fell in love. Like, I remember seeing the first time I ever saw crack cocaine, like, cooked. I was in Texas. I saw him take like a small little circle piece that looked like a cookie with holes in it, and he made like $4,000, like, quick.
Crazy.
Four grand, you made that quick. Yeah, so it was just like, money to me, having money to me was like a key to like open up doors. I guess I learned that when I was a kid, so it just stuck with me. And that's what really led me to the streets. Like, it wasn't like my parents were bad, none of that shit. Like, I always got into trouble. I always, like, like, I'm not gonna lie and make it seem like I was an A student. No, like, when I moved to Japan, like, it was different, bro. Like, it was a cool place, but the kids, like, growing up, like you had to be, because a lot of those kids are spoiled, and my parents weren't really on that. Like, I had chores. Yeah, I had to clean up. I had to, like, do stuff. I think even though, like, I was on the wrong side, because I chose this lifestyle, I still have, like, my morals, my honor, my values. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still, like, it's still there, you know. And the fourth part of this of fixing crime, I want to tell you, is when people come home. A lot of people in society don't understand. The whole time these guys are in jail, you're telling them we don't care about y'all. Um, y'all should be suffering. When you're telling these guys this, they're coming home. They remember that same hate. They remember that same hurt. They remember being alone. You don't want these same guys coming to your community. You don't want these same guys going to the same stores, going to the same schools. You don't like. You want them to be better people. So you want the prison system to work, because if they're coming back to jail, that means there's crime. Crime ruins the real estate market, right? So now your community sucks. Tourists don't want to come because there's a bunch of murders. Those same people are going back to prison, and that's taxpayer money. So now you're paying out of your pocket to keep them in jail. You're paying everything, and they're expensive. Inmates are expensive, right? And then now you're leaving, like, families that are broken, which creates more torment. You feel what I'm saying? So the re-entry part, the fourth part of fixing crime, is important. It shouldn't be he's an inmate or he did time, I'm not going to hire him. The fact that they used to have, like, rules and guidelines against that is weird. Oh, are you a convicted felon? Well, we're not going to hire you because you're a convicted felon. You should want to hire that person, because he knows what it feels like to not have him. He knows what it feels like to be hungry. Trust me, he knows what it feels like to be lonely. So he wants to work this job and make him some money so he can stay out of that hellhole. Society has made it hard, bro. Through movies and TV shows, they only show violence. When you talk about prison, it's always like dudes stabbing each other up or fighting. It's some crazy stuff. If I had to think about which movie I've ever seen that relates to prison in Louisiana the most, I'd say The Longest Yard. It's a comedy with Adam Sandler, and he goes to prison. He's a quarterback, and it's more of a comedy. But that's how prison is. Like, none of these guys are in here trying to, like, be demons. Trust me, these dudes in here soft. They listen to slow jams. They think about women all the time. They think about their kids. I'm telling you this. I know this. I know this. There's 80-year-old security guards and security guards that have one leg that, act right. These dudes ain't animals. And society always shows that. So it makes people in society think like, oh, they're inmates. Like you got to watch them. And then, oh, they deserve to be in prison. But I'm telling you, these guys are coming home, and you want them to come home better people. Because the kids ain't going to listen to no guy in the suit. I promise you that. Like, I was a kid. They're going to listen to dudes who relate with me. Dudes who can tell them, look, I went to jail. I didn't have my diploma. I got my GED in jail. I started college in jail. I started business in jail. I published a book in jail. I'm just like you. I slept in the same rack. So when I get to telling the younger dudes that, they feel that. They're like, oh, dude, I can tell them this. Google me. Check my background. Same shit I was into. I have to be successful. I can't just go home and be a failure, because the young dudes ain't gonna believe in, like, it's like when you're growing up and you're a girl, you're female, right? And you never see a black female president or vice president. So in your mind, it's like, man, I'm never even thinking about that. It's not even on my radar. Be a vice. And then you see a black female president, you're like, as a girl, you're like, oh, I can do this. This is possible. As some of us guys who have done prison time, who got our minds right, we're trying to prove something. We're trying to give these other dudes in here some say. You don't have to have an education, or you didn't have to have this, you didn't have to have rich parents, you didn't have to have this, you didn't have to have that to come home and be successful, because I did it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. So like all of this, like I said, I'm a part of the problem when it comes to crime because I haven't been an outstanding individual. You feel what I'm saying? I am now. Now, when people see me, they can say, "Oh yeah, that's some positive stuff he's doing. He's doing positive things." And being in prison, you're gonna meet some of the most talented guys. I met guys who design clothes, guys who can rap, sing, guys who can do poetry, guys who can build things, and they have these talents, but when they go home, it falls through because they don't have the funds. It's just insane how you see this revolving door happen because like especially in Louisiana, man, the system. I'm just seeing these videos of these jails. It's real in some of these jails. Like it's not a game. It's not to be played with. And it's not like other states where it's like gang structure. No, it's not none of that. You're your own man, and then if y'all fall out, it is what it is. It's not gonna be no. You got to check in with no lieutenant, or you got to go see none of that. None of that stuff going on in here. And I've been in jails where the people do not care. Like I'm gonna show you some. They don't care. All my dudes right now in Tallulah know what time it is. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? You grown, you got yourself in a situation. But this is affecting the community though. And I ain't saying this to like get nobody in trouble or nothing like that. I'm saying this for the whole. Because bro, a lot of these young dudes I've seen in here, I met in here that have been home, they're dead. I know a lot of people that have went home and got killed. Like crazy stuff, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and I'd be like, dang, this person had some intellect. Like he could have wrote a movie or he could have wrote a book or damn the world. And I know a lot of people are always asking like, yo, you got a cell phone in jail? Because I'll post videos and I'll be like, y'all making jail look cool. I want to be clear about this. Jail is not cool.
Right.
Jail is for flunkies and idiots. Jail is for people that can't control their emotions.
Right.
Jail is not for no real men. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you're a real man in jail, you're going to hate this shit.
Right.
Because it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're not going to go to jail. If you commit a crime, you should be man enough to take your charge and do your time. But you got to think and get yourself out of that situation. So a lot of people are always like on my trail about, man, you making jail look cool. And I'm like, yo, it's not. I'm just a cool dude. I'm just trying to show society that, yo, there's a lot of people just like me. Like, I'm not the only guy in here. I'm not the only dude in here that has a brain that can think. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only one that has common sense. I'm not the only one that has compassion. There's a lot of people in here. And we got to get off the stereotypes, bro. Like, stereotypes are killing us as a community. Oh, he's an inmate, he been in jail. Don't get no relationship with him, he gonna be a dog. Or don't give him no job, he gonna rob you. It's the same thing. We all do it. I can talk to many here. Oh man, I'm not dating black women. I'm gonna date a white woman. Why? Because white women do this better. Or she has kids. I don't want to date her because she might be too this. You know, we live off these stereotypes, and we're shutting a lot of good stuff down, man. Like there's a lot of people that probably don't want to talk to me or work with me because I'm a convicted felon, which would be weird because like I made a mistake. I chose to do that.
Right.
I did my time in society. I'm ready to be a better person. That's how the system's supposed to work.
Right.
Like that. Like you're supposed to clap, and the people aren't clapping, and so it makes other dudes that look at me like, why would I do that? Why would I put my energy into that and still get the same type of hate? And that's why I started the clothing line, Fake Love Kills, because I wanted to decipher that love doesn't kill. It wasn't until 2022 that I realized I tattooed the wrong thing on me. How could love kill? Love? Like love is all good. Like tell me, like love is like teddy bears and like hugs and kisses and like yeah, like love is good. So the whole time, what I've been mistaken for real love has been fake love. And I've been saying love kills when I should be saying fake love kills. So even though I'm dealing with all of this negative stuff, I still got to be happy. I still got to be joyous because this dude's watching. There's people that are watching that are seeing that, yo, I like what he's saying. I want to do positive, but I'm scared to do positive because every time I do positive, I get negative results. And I got to just remind him that stuff happens, bro. Every time I've been down, every time I've been at my lowest, man, only if you knew. I've been so hungry one time that I only had a season pack out of a ramen soup, and I ate that. That's how hungry I was. Nothing else to eat. So I've been at the bottom, but I always come out of it, you know? So I want to teach a lot of these guys persistence. Me as a criminal, I was a quitter. Like as a criminal, I was a quitter. I didn't want to go to work and build my credit and build this and build that. I wanted to go out there and sell some drugs and get fast. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't trying to, and I chose this because I had jobs. I stopped going to work to get the fast money. And because I always told myself, man, by the time I'm 25, I want to be rich. I want to be sitting up Lamborghinis. Now that I'm 36, I think about it like, I got a whole life. Like, I should at least be planning for 80 years. But I was rushing myself thinking that I had to do this now that like I messed up 15 years of my life as a guy coming home, as an OG, as somebody who just speaks the truth. Like I ain't trying to lie. I ain't trying to do none of that. My leaders and the dudes in front of me weren't giving me game. They were telling me, man, buy it in cash. You get that car, go get that car in cash. Don't get it in credit. Nah, man, you get it in credit, you ain't got no money, man. That dude who bought that in credit, he ain't got no money, he ain't balling. So it made us be like, yo, we ain't never messing with credit. We gonna do this cash, and we cashing out. Now that I'm 36, I'm realizing them dudes who've been playing with their credit are winning.
Of course.
They most definitely winning. They using other people's money to pay their bills, and they're saving their money and putting it, investing in this to make more money. So now my credit score is 685, and I'm in prison, mind you. So I had to watch buku YouTube videos. I had to educate myself. But now that I have this knowledge, I got to do what my OGs and the people in front of me didn't do. I got to give them to the youth. I asked the young guy a question the other day, just to see where his mom was at. I say, bro, when you get home, what you gonna do? You gonna buy a house? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a house. I say, when? He said, probably 6 to 9 years. I say, 6 to 9 years? Where you gonna live at? He said, I'm gonna get an apartment. He's got kids, so he's gonna get a 3-bedroom. I say, how much that's gonna cost you? He said, probably $1,900 a month. I say, so for 6 years to 9 years, you're gonna pay $1,900 a month to somebody else? Young dudes don't never do they don't ever do the math, long distance. They don't ever think about the long numbers. Okay, let's just take it in 10 months. In 10 months, you have given this person $19,000. You've given somebody $19,000 in 10 months. So once I told him that, he like, huh? I said, now you was talking about doing that for 6 years. If anything happens, you don't get none of that money back. And he owns the house. I said, but look at this right here. Look at first-time home buyers. Look at how much you got to put down in your first-time home buyer. Your credit score just got to be like a 580 or 620 or something like that, which is nothing, bro. All you got to do is put down 3.5% to 5% of the house. He like, huh? I'm like, yeah. So let's just say the house $200,000. That's a nice house in Louisiana. So I'm saying that's a nice. You ain't got to complain. Well, 1% would be $2,000. 6% would be 3% would be $6,000, and just another half, 7. So you got to put $7,000 down on a house that you now are in possession of. Not an apartment, but a house. And your mortgage is going to be what? Let's just say 30-year mortgage. Let's just say $500-$600. That's better than paying $1,900 to somebody, and you don't even own the property. So once I start talking to the young dudes like this, it goes from 2 or 3 people listening to 10, and now they all taking notes. And that's what we got to do. That's my part. That's something I got to do. That's something everybody's in my position got to do. We got a lot of dudes that are home and have been home for a little minute, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they're afraid to post it. They're afraid to tell everybody, man, I was in jail just 6 years ago. To me, when I see people that were in prison and they're doing good, that's positive. That's more gasoline in my tank. And I think that's where we're dropping the ball at too, as far as we got to start giving game. A lot of dudes feel like I can't talk to the young boys. They ain't going to listen. Well, give it to them real. Don't try to fake it with them. Don't try to scare them. Don't try to be a gangster with them, man. Give it to them real. Right. You want to get some money? I know the only reason why you out here is to get money. Yeah. I can show you how to get some legal money. I can show you how to make some legal money right now. You know what I'm saying? And it don't cost nothing. My LLC ain't cost nothing.
I want to talk quickly about your book. How did you get started on your book?
I just so happen to be incarcerated for COVID, right? I was just telling you that. This is in Jefferson Parish. And I was a problem in Jefferson Parish. Not a problem, but I'm the guy who gets understanding very clear. So once I caught COVID, all of the officers were more than happy enough to put me in an isolation cell. Now there was a dorm where everybody had COVID, can go in the dorm, they had a TV, stuff like that. These all had COVID. Me, I got an ISO tank, a solid door with a window, no TV, no phone, no nothing, COVID restrictions. So I had nothing to do in there for 4 months. No, I lied, for 2 months, two and a half months, 3 months. So what I decided to do was write a book because I thought the world was going to end. I don't have TV in here and it's COVID. Yeah, all I can remember was the body count was 1,000. Now the body count's 2,000. Now it's 15,000. All I keep thinking about is Daniel Brown, books where the Da Vinci Code or some crazy stuff going on. It's just about to be some end of the world stuff. So I'm if the world's going to end, I need to write a book to help somebody out. I thought about it. And at the time I'm man, I've been dating women my whole life. I've been in relationships my whole life. So let me write a book about relationships. I wrote a book about relationships. I think it's a pretty good book, actually. I think I did pretty good. And I just talk about a lot of stuff in there. For instance, my whole life I've been getting it confused. I've been thinking love is like what I think love is. It's wrong. And that's why I'm always telling people, like, you don't love me. It's because I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't do what I would do because I love you and this is what I would do. I had to figure out what love really meant. So what I did was I looked up the definition of love on Webster's and it told me something. I looked up the Greeks, how the Greeks define love. They broke it down into pieces. What I did was I asked a bunch of people their definition of love, and everybody gave me a different definition. So the last place I went to was the Bible. And I don't like to too much get religious and push religion on people. You just got to find what works for you. So I read the Bible's definition of love, and it was the most complete definition. It's in 1 Corinthians. It was the most complete definition of love I ever read. It was like love is not pompous, it's not jealous, it's not envious. It doesn't go after revenge. It's joyous and everything. And I was like, dang, bro, like that's what love is, because my grandfather gave me love, you know? The whole time I've been giving people fake love. I've been thinking I've been loving women this whole time. I'm thinking I've been giving them love. I've been going after my own ways, my own heart. What I did was, once I figured out what love was, I started to live by it. It's hard now because nowadays women will be like, man, you friendly as hell. And I'll be like, bro, it's a double-edged sword. Like, I can be happy and people are still in here. Like, it's a lot of guys that don't like it. They don't like me talking positive. So, I could tell somebody, bro, I want to see you rich. I want to see you with money. Oh, there you go, Jack. There you go, preaching again. I'm like, see, that's the problem. You're not used to somebody who looks like me wanting you to succeed. It feels weird. It feels uncomfortable, right? Because they told you as a kid that it was weird. Don't trust nobody. You can do it on your own. You know, they told you that. You feel what I'm saying? They told you we crabs in a bucket, but we not. If more and more and more and more of us start to do that and we all come together, they can't stop us. And what showed me that is the new generation. These kids these days are geniuses. I want all of y'all to know that. All of y'all, the last 6-7 years, y'all are geniuses, because my age group, we wasn't really doing too much riots and stuff like that. We wasn't doing none of that. If something went wrong in the community, we was like, all right, we're going to take our lick. But nowadays, nowadays, the youth really realize they can change stuff for oh, so you don't want to act right, Congressman? Well, we're voting your ass out of there. You don't want to change these laws? We're voting. I never voted. I wasn't in the voting. Because my OGs, remember when I said the OGs, they were telling me, voting. Man, that's not real. They're not paying attention to your vote, man. You don't gotta vote. That's not gonna change nothing. And I believed it. So I was like, man, I ain't never fucking voting. Oh, sorry for cursing. I'm not never voting. I believe that. And now the youth are showing me, man, y'all was tripping. We going to vote. Oh, they don't want to act right. We kicking them out of office. They don't want to change these laws. We kicking them out of office. And it's got the politicians scared. I can see it. I'm not going to go into politics, but I want to thank the youth. Y'all are geniuses. And it's the same way in prison. If we want stuff to change in here, we got to come together. Yeah. And I know a lot of dudes don't be wanting to make it hot. They don't want to I understand that. I don't want to make it hot. I don't want to ruin nobody's job. I just want to make the system better for people like me. You want to know how to fix crime? You want to know how to... You don't want a guy like me on the wrong side of the fence when it comes to justice and crime. I'm too valuable to my community positively to be doing some negative stuff, because they follow me whichever way I go. Whichever way I go, I hate to say it, people are going to follow me. Right. And I ran from that my whole life. I ran from that. People man, you be a good leader, you be a good leader. I never wanted to lead anybody. I never wanted to do that. As I got older, in prison let me know that, bro, dudes will follow you whatever you say. So you got to show them some positive stuff, bro, because if you don't, you're just going to create some monsters. So the best way to lead somebody is to show them. So anytime I tell people anything in here, I tell them a fact or I tell them something, my opinion, I always tell them to go look it up. And they'll be like, why you telling me to go look it up? I say, because don't believe it. Believe none of what you hear and half what you see. So if I told you something, don't look it up yourself so you know that that's facts. If I tell you don't mess with credit, that's for broke people, go look it up. Learn for yourself that, oh, wait, credit's the way. Credit's going to help me out in case I really don't have it, or I need to reach that next level, or I need to get this business. Oh, I can get a box truck, 26-foot box truck, and not have to get a CDL because it doesn't have air brakes. And I can go move furniture for people, create a business card on Vistaprint for $15, get 1,000 of them. I can start my LLC, get my LLC name with $100, and I'm up and running. You don't even got to buy the truck. You can rent that from U-Haul and still move furniture and make your money. You see what I'm saying? We putting them on hustles now. I'm a hustler. I'm a real street hustler. And that's I mean it. I can sell stuff. And if I can sell drugs, then I can sell a car.
Moving forward, what advice would you give to the public, the policymakers, and activists about incarceration?
I can't speak for any other state, so I don't want anybody to get but in the state of Louisiana, if you want to change crime, have more taxpayer money freed up for hospitals, schools, roads, that type of stuff, then for healthcare workers, that type of stuff, the foreign stuff, you have to put more time, effort, and genuine effort into correcting the behavior with my group of guys, like with us. There's no way in the world I should be in a jail where dudes that did 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and they don't have a degree. There's no way in the world. You don't have a doctorate, you don't have a master's, you don't have a bachelor's. What's going on? Oh, they don't have the funding. We can only fit 10 or 15 people into this college course.
Right.
And that's the part. Like, where's all this money going? You feel what I'm saying? Like, dump this money, spend this money on getting these dudes right. Because I promise you, they make better people in the community than they do in here. And you want to send them to the community to be better people because their kids are going to listen to them. The young dudes that are the problems right now, that are kicking in the doors and robbing and going in cars and high-speed chasing and shooting out, they listen to us, believe it or not. They most definitely do. The system, if you fix the system and you send more guys out into the society, better people, you'll get a better result, period. I guarantee that. You'll get a way better result because knowledge is power.
Right.
You got to educate these guys. Yeah, you got like you got to educate them. You got to teach them about business loans and credits and health. Like I ask guys all the time, man, you don't got no health insurance? Like, nah, man. If you die today, how you gonna get buried?
Their family.
Think about it. You in the streets, bro. My policy right now is small, right? I get 50,000. It's because I gotta wait 10 years for me to be a felon. That's 3 more years I gotta go. It'll go to 600,000. Then I pay $110 a month. That's nothing. You got guys buying Jordans that cost more than that. If something happens to me, my mom or whoever gets $50,000 to help out with whatever. I can't even afford to do that, but I can buy Michael Jordans for $200 a pop every week that they drop. Right. We got to start teaching knowledge. The system has got to tighten down, and because everybody's forgetting about the inmates, they're forgetting about them. They're forgetting that these guys are coming back home. They're going to be in the same malls, the same stores, the same communities. What do you want them teaching the younger guys that are looking up to you? Because I guarantee you the young boys look up to us. I can guarantee you that. It's a group thing. It's not just on the system. I promise you that. It's on guys like me. We got to start publicizing this. We can't be scared. Right now I'm scared to death because if somebody sees these interviews, they're like, okay, he's not supposed to be doing that. We're going to lock him up. I'm flat, so you can't give me no more time. My due date is in less than 7 months. But I just want to show dudes that, yeah, there's positive going on in here. I want to show the world that there's positive people in here. We're not all deceitful. We're not all bad. But there's a lot of guys that don't know. They don't have knowledge. The only thing they know how to do is sell drugs. Like, they don't know nothing else. I know guys that don't even know how to bring a mop out in a mop wringer. Like, I've met kids that don't even know how to use an iron. And if nobody's going to spend the time to show them things, to teach them things, cool things. Like, just imagine. Right now, you can make millions of dollars being a DJ. Who would have thought? You can make millions of dollars being a YouTube celebrity. Who would have thought? Right. Like, who would have thought? You don't just have to be a lawyer or a doctor. Yeah. You have to reach out to these kids and find out. Yeah, you got to find out what they like. Or you like music? Or you like skateboarding? Like, we don't, you know, you can't just tell, oh, that's not, you're not going to make no money. You're not going to do that. You got to get on their level, find out what they like to do. There's a lot of talented kids, man, out there. And they just need guidance. And I'm praying that the systems get fixed because I can't just do it by myself. And you got to start teaching these guys. You got to start showing these guys some real stuff. I want to say real shit. Sorry I said it. But you got to keep it real because these are going to be the same dudes in your community. And I'm telling you, you don't want some of these dudes in your community. I've been around some guys personally, and I've told them this. I hope you don't never come live nowhere around me, bro, because you're going to be problems. You know, that's the whole key, man. That's the whole key.
Well, before we close, I just want to if you can just give us like a quick, turn the camera, or let's see what's going on where you are.
All right, look, hold on. It has to be quick because I can take you on a trip, man.
No, quick, because we're actually running out of time.
All right, hey, hit the light, y'all. Hit the light. She want to see y'all. Hit the light. I don't know how to change the camera around.
Or you can just turn your phone. Just click around.
That's exactly what I'm about to do. Hit the lights. All right, so look, this is my dorm right here. What's up, y'all? Y'all on the podcast, man. Handcuff status, man. You know what I'm saying? This is all us right here. Everybody. TV, other dorms, other sets. It's a normal day. It's a normal day. Right. Nobody's in here killing nobody. Nobody's in here hurting nobody. Everybody's in here just Yeah, just chilling, relaxing, doing their time, man. Nobody's in here trying to hurt nobody.
Well, we just want to thank you so much for being on our podcast today. We really appreciate it, for sharing your insight with us.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.